you will be successful. That is what is so cool about this game of reality that we're in. It is rigged for your success. Hello, everyone. My name is Ona, and this is Wealthy Weirdos, the podcast where we talk about how the weirdos, the outcasts, those who think differently and move differently through the world come into their wealthiest timeline doing what they love. Hello. Okay, today we have got to talk about one of the weirdest aspects of making money, which is the intangible, the energetics, the magic, the stuff happening beneath the surface. And I know some of you may not be into energetics, but I'm going to tell a story right now that's going to show you how important they are. So, my friend, um, she went shopping for her first car like years ago on Facebook Marketplace. And this story is top of mind for me right now because I literally just bought a car this week. I did not do it on Facebook Marketplace, but I got a car and it's just like, yeah, it's very front and center for me right now because I had a really interesting experience that I could get more into. Um, but I'll just say for now, it's definitely a point of pride. I wouldn't be able to get this car without this business. Like, this is where the money came from. So I'm just very proud of it. But through this process of buying a car and at first having some issues with dealerships before I decided to go to Carvana and just get something. Prior to that, I was telling my friend about my experience and how I was having trouble like picking a car. And so she tells me this story. She says, years ago, she got her first car on Facebook Marketplace, and when she went to go pick up the car, there was another person there at the same time to look at the car. And the person selling it to her was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Like, I accidentally booked you two at the same time. So you're just gonna have to take turns test driving. Um, and that's how we'll do it." And so what she came to realize was that it was a setup. And the other person there was there to put pressure on the sale. But she bought it. At the time, she like bought into it. So this other person was like, "Oh my God, I think I really want this car and I think I'm going to get it today." And so basically, it was a pressure tactic to where if she was going to get the car, it had to be now. Otherwise, this other person was going to end up getting the car. And the whole thing was done in such a way where she basically got kind of revved up and was like, "Okay, no, I'm just gonna get it. I'm gonna get it right now. It's such a good deal. Like, I'm gonna get this car right now." And so the theatrics worked on her and she bought the car. And then when they took it to the DMV, she saw that they had given her a false VIN number. They gave her a different vehicle's VIN number. And the VIN number on this car was hidden for a reason, y'all. This car had been in a flood. It had completely flooded. It had been in accidents. It had been taken apart and rebuilt. There was some Frankenstein shit going on with this car. Like, this car had been through it, and it was worth a fraction of what she had paid for it. That good deal that she thought she was getting was probably more than triple what this car was actually worth. Okay. So she had been scammed, like proper scammed. Now, being the sweet soul that she is, she took it in stride. I mean, I'm sure it was very upsetting at first, right? But then she goes, "Okay, there's no going back on this. This is my car. This is my car." Like, she had spent all the money she had available on this car. So there was no getting another one. This is the car. This is her car now. She's not going to screw over somebody else and do the same thing. No, this is her car now. So she worked on forgiving the people that had sold it to her, not carrying the resentment, not carrying all that negativity. And she instead just focused on this is my car. And she would give it energy healing. She took really good care of it, took it to, took it in for its oil changes, kept an eye on it. And every single day she would like thank the car, be grateful that she had one, that she got to, use it and get to where she was going. And yeah, she would give it energy healing every day. I'm going to change the lighting here a little bit. It's a little too bright in my eyes. I hope that still looks good, actually. Anyway, for those of you who are listening to the audio, you're probably like, what? Anyway, so she's giving this car energy healing every single day, and it does beautifully. Like it would clank a little, make a little clanking noise from time to time, but this car did amazingly well. This car lasted her years, way longer than it should have, got her everywhere she needed to go, didn't have any like crazy major expenses. Like this car functioned well. It did everything for her that a car that like the car she thought she was buying, like the VIN number that they had given her that was false. This car did everything that that car would have done, that that car would have logically done for her. This car did. This car, this flooded Frankenstein car was ended up being worth it. Ended up being the value that she paid. I mean, besides the resale value, you could say, right? But it worked for her. And this to me was such an inspiring story because it was this clear reminder of it's not about getting it right. It's not about never making the wrong move or the wrong decision and everything's always perfect and you're doing it. You did the checklist, you did A, B, and C, right? In your business, especially, like you did it right, you did the launch correctly, you made the moves you were supposed to make. Like it's so much less about that and so much more about your relationship to making decisions and dealing with the outcomes. Like, you make a choice, you take responsibility for the choice, and you have a super positive relationship to it, right? You take ownership of it and you move forward. Those are whatever you want to call it, clean energetics, like solid energetics. Like, this is what I mean by energetics. It's how you feel. It's your relationship to it. Like, I fully believe that if she had gotten in that car every day, resenting the people who had sold it to her, being like, oh, this piece of shit, now I have to live with this car. I really fucked up, feeling shame. Shame is such a heavy, low vibration. So feeling the shame, feeling like, oh my God, how could I let this happen? Oh, this car sucks. Every time it clanks, being like, oh, this piece of crap, like this piece of shit. How did I get stuck with this piece of shit? If she had done that, I am going to venture a guess. Like, we can't prove it in this exact situation, but I'm going to go ahead and say that that car would not have lasted as long. Her assumptions would have helped paint that reality because her energetic frequency would have been so different. Every time she gets in that car, she's just swirling with negativity and all of that, like, ugh, just being like, oh, what a piece of junk, expecting it, assuming it. Like, it it changes things beyond what we can see, right? She would have been the victim, not taking ownership of the choice, not feeling any positivity towards the car. She probably wouldn't have taken as good of care of it because she's like, well, it's a piece of junk anyway, so why am I gonna take care of it? Like I just bought a, freaking what's a nice car? Like I just bought a BMW or some shit. Like why am I gonna take care of this? I don't even know. Is a BMW a nice car, you guys? But you know what I mean? Like it would have been such a different outcome. It would have been such a different outcome. And this is why it matters that you have this like solid, clean relationship to the choices that you make, even when you make the quote unquote wrong choice. So she made the wrong choice, and it ended up being totally fine. And not only that, it's a story that I get to tell now. I asked her, I was like, can I tell that story? It's a story that I get to tell now that's going to help illustrate this. And in the moment that she told me that story, it helped me out a lot because this is where you get into my car story. The energy, I should just call this episode like the energetics of cars. I'm not going to name it that. I feel like that would be really confusing. The energetics of cars. People are going to be like, what are you talking about? Um, but her story helped me so much because I hadn't yet bought my car, but I was like in the deep with it. I was like, I am ready. Like I don't want to keep doing this process. I was stressed. I went to because I wanted to buy a used car. First of all, I'm also just like a used car person. Even if I could technically get a new car and like finance it and do whatever, I still wanted a used car. I just feel like it's better for the environment and it's just my personality. So I was going to used car dealerships and I was having a terrible time with it, just like being there all day, having like weird experiences with the people at the dealership, almost getting a car, but then taking it in for a pre-purchase inspection and having there be like really major issues with it and feeling like they were trying to pull one over on me. And it was so stressful, but for some reason, and this is like old patterning, right? Old energetics, old programming that I had in my system still, where I was just like automatically operating from this place of like, well, I need to get the best deal. Like and really what that is was like, so me like trying to get the best deal. Like I want to get a car that is like the most reliable and will last me the most amount of years for the least amount of money. Like it's kind of a game at that point. Like, and that's all well and good. Like, right? Like we can have fun deal hunting, but I wasn't having fun. I wasn't having fun anymore at that point. It had cost me too much of my time. Um, and I needed to like take a step back and ask myself, like, why am I actually doing this? Like, why do I need to get the best deal? Like, what is that? And I realized it was this feeling of I need to get this right. Like it wasn't about the money. It wasn't about like, "Ugh, I need to save, an extra $1,000 or an extra $2,000. Like, I just really make sure that this is like the most amazing, like unicorn deal. Like, why am I trying to do that? It's like an overachiever thing, like a high achiever thing. I was trying to get it right. I was trying to get it right. And underneath wanting to get it right, it comes back to those three core wounds: safety, belonging, and worthiness. Where for me, I think that one was mostly like, it's like, why am I trying to get it right? Well, because I don't want to get it wrong. And so for me, there's this idea, or there was this idea before I heard this story from my friend, there was this idea of like, well, if I get it wrong, things won't be okay. And there's like a sprinkle of safety in that of like, oh, well, then I'm going to have these like huge mechanical problems and it's going to be so expensive, or I'm gonna get something irresponsible and way too expensive, and then like what if my sales dip and then I don't want to pay for it or I don't want to have paid for. So there's a little bit of that safety in there of like what if my financial situation changes and like I make a mistake. But then there was actually for me the most common wound that I have triggered is worthiness and shame. Those like two, worthiness and shame are together. So for me, that's where my head usually goes. So then it's like, well, if I get it wrong, I'm going to feel shame. So it's less about the safety. It's less about like, oh, I won't be okay. And it's more about like, I won't feel okay about myself. Like I messed up. I did the wrong thing. I suck. I'm not smart. I'm irresponsible, I'm, whatever, like insert insult. Insert the insult. That's what I was afraid of. I was afraid of being a piece of shit. I was afraid of being someone who sucks, someone who is wasteful even, right? Again, going back to me just now saying that getting a used car is part of my personality is kind of tied to the exact same wound I'm realizing as I say it of like, I don't want to be somebody who's wasteful. I don't want to be somebody who's irresponsible. Like all of this stuff is just me being afraid that underneath it all, I suck. And so I need to do things in my external reality to prove to myself or to prove to others that I'm good, that I'm a good girl, that I'm right, that I'm worthy, that I'm okay, that I'm, a good person, that I'm practical, that I'm intelligent, right? Like that's what I'm trying to do with that. And then I realized I'm like, oh my God, I don't need to do that. Like me getting the best deal on the freaking planet. Like, let's just say I get the most amazing car with the cleanest history, just on the nose, oil changes, absolutely no problems, one owner, best car on the market at the most amazing price. It's gonna last me 10 years plus because it's so freaking amazing. Let's say I get that car. Is that actually gonna help me feel differently? Maybe for a second. Is that going to heal this? Is that going to make me, is that now I'm worthy? Now I'm good? Now I'm the good girl and I don't get things wrong? Like, sure, there might be some pride involved, right? But I realized, like, that isn't the source of it. That alone, that's not going to give that to me. That's not going to be the source of me, like, feeling good about myself. It's a little sprinkle on top, sure, right? And energetics is not about just like throwing everything to the wind and like doing fuck all because you're energetic. Like it's about realizing, okay, what actually matters to me here? Like what is this really about? Because the reason I wanted a car, the reason I wanted a car, like now I have a car, but the reason I wanted a car is freedom. Like I want to be able to drive to different coffee shops and do my work. I actually get a lot more done that way. I want to go to the springs whenever I want. I want to go to the beach whenever I want. I want to go to like neighboring towns, like and even for work, like even just to do events in nearby cities or honestly, like if I'm in a new city doing work in a coffee shop I've never been to, I'm like 20,000 times more efficient. Like I just get way more done. So it's also work related. Like I get so much out of that freedom. And it feels good. Like, to have a car, to know that I was able to buy that for my own money already gives me pride. So then I just realized I was like, I don't need to like get this right. It's not about getting the right car. It's about my relationship to the car that I get. That's what matters. It matters that I take care of this car. It matters that I use it for things that I want to do. It matters that I get to actually feel and experience the freedom that this gives me, to appreciate it, to love it, to give it my own energy healing, to go to the springs and jump in and like sit on a towel in the hot front seat and eat some chips and like stop at the gas station and just like fucking love my life. Like that's what this is about. That's what this is about. That's the fucking point. Right? And so when I heard her story and I realized, oh my gosh, what if I can't fuck it up? What if it's just about me following my instincts, doing what feels right to me, no matter what men have to say about it, right? No matter what the car dealers or my dad or my boyfriend or anybody's opinions. Like, what if I just get what I want to get? And if I want somebody's opinion, I'll ask, but like, what if I just do what I want to do here? Follow my instincts, I follow my intuition. My intuition says I don't want to go to another dealership. So I'm going to buy a car on Carvana. I don't care if it's a little bit more money. I'm going to look at the service history. I still want a clean service history. I want to make sure the Carfax look good. I want to make sure it's not like super crazy overpriced. I want a reliable engine. That's important to me. Okay, good, done, found it. There it is. I'm getting that one. The whole process is done in a day. Not even a whole day. It was quick. It was quick. I was decisive. I got the car. I love it. I love it. I I feel this relationship to it that's like very exhilarating, you know? I feel love, you know? And again, it's not just for the car, it's everything that it opens up, it's all the doors that it opens up. It's and if it's like if this car ends up having something wrong, I'm not gonna go into a shame spiral. I'm not gonna be like, oh, well, I should have searched longer. I should have made sure I got the best deal. I should have made sure I did it right. That I got an A plus on this. I need an A plus and a gold star and everything I freaking do. No. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'm here for this. Present moment. Here I am. Let's go. Let's problem solve. All right, it's a little, it's a used car. I gotta put a little bit of money into it. That's okay. I have a fund. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna set up a fund, an emergency fund for that car. And I get to do that. I get to save, I get to put some money aside. That's cool. Like, that's amazing. That's incredible. I feel grateful every time I do that. I feel good about that. It's like, uh, uh, how could this go wrong? It's not going to go wrong. It's not about, see, because it's what you realize when you get really deep into energetics is that it's not about things going right or wrong. You kind of come out of the right and wrong spell of reality that a lot of people are living in, where they think that they're getting things right or they're getting things wrong, and other people are getting things right and other people are getting things wrong. And it's like, that's not the fucking point. It was never the point. People get so stuck in like doing it right versus doing it wrong, usually because of safety, shame as well, but like, yeah, and belonging too. But I actually think a lot of people are stuck in it because of safety, because it feels very unstable, this idea of like gray. And also this idea of it's not about right and wrong. Like some people just, I think that's how they see reality. And so when you take that away, it feels destabilizing. But it's not. It's just not, guys. No, but really, you you get to realize that your relationship to anything changes the thing itself. It changes the third thing. This is something I talk about a lot. Like if you have a relationship to a person, like let's say you're married, your significant other, your significant other and you create a third thing, which is the marriage or the relationship, right? The marriage is like its own entity. And a lot of people talk about it like that. Like we have a conception of this, of like the marriage being a third thing. But everywhere you go in reality, everything you relate to creates a third thing every single time. So, me speaking to you right now, like me creating this podcast, so there's actually a lot of third things happening. My relationship to this laptop, my relationship to the camera filming me, my relationship to this microphone, my relationship to you as my audience, my relationship to my own voice. Each one of those things that I have a relationship to is creating a third thing. So that's how much power you have. So I can't control the camera. I cannot control the computer. I cannot control the microphone. I cannot control you. But every single one of those connections between you and me and the camera, me and the laptop, me and the microphone, every single one of those things is creating a third thing. And I am 50% of that. And honestly, if you want to get into percentages, I don't even know if 50% is accurate. A lot of the times you're a higher percentage than that because you are most likely, like whoever has the most awareness, whoever's like the most present, or especially like in a state of flow, in a state of faith, like you've got more intentionality. Like I have more intention than the microphone. It doesn't mean that the microphone isn't bringing something to the table. It is. It's bringing a lot to the table. It matters equally in many ways, in many respects, depending on how you look at it. But it's not bringing the same level of awareness and intention that I am to this relationship. So you could say that me and the microphone that are now creating a third thing, you could say that I don't even know what percentage. You could say that I'm like 85% of that, right? Maybe more. But it's not about figuring out the percentage. The point is, you have a lot of power because everywhere you go, you're constantly creating third things. You're constantly creating what you could see as the marriage, right? Obviously you're not married to things, but you know what I mean. Like that, there's a third thing happening all the time in simultaneously even all over the place. So, who you are being, like what you are bringing to the table in any given present moment, it's always present moment. This is not about potentials. This is not about ideas. This is not about like, oh, like a story through line. It's not, this particular thing isn't actually about that. Sorry, I hit the microphone. It might have been a little loud. It's actually about the state of being that you're in right here, right now, with whatever you're doing, with whatever you are engaged in this moment. That is what is creating the third thing. Not your ideas, not your maybes, not your laters, right here, right now. That changes it. That changes the third thing 100% of the time. You in the equation changes whatever third things are at play 100% of the time. So it's not about, I don't want anything bad to ever happen to me. Like, eh, you you are not omnipotent. Like it's not about controlling the microphone or the camera or the audience or whatever it is you have a relationship to. It's about what you bring to the table. And whatever gets brought to you by whatever's outside of your jurisdiction, outside of your control, other people being like one of the main ones, whatever they're bringing, you've got to actually take that in, right? Like you have to actually engage with it. If you are just saying, like, no, I don't want to engage with that, I don't want to have a relationship to that, I'm like, no, right? Like, that's bad, that's wrong, I'm not gonna engage, like, no, then you don't actually get to create that. You don't get to have as much of a say in that third thing because you're just pushing away the reality. So let's go back to my friends in her car. If she had bought that car and then resented it and resisted it the whole time, that's like you saying no to life. This is when the energetics get all wonky and create problems because she wouldn't actually be fully engaged in that relationship between her and that car. And her relationship to that car would have been completely bogged down by resentment and shame. It just would have been like basically her wishing she didn't have the car the whole time. So she's not actually receiving it in that scenario. It's more of a pushing away. It's more of a like, I wish this car wasn't here. I wish this car was different. I wish I had gotten a different car, which is understandable. That's how most people would react, right? That's why I love that story so much because 95, if not like 98% of people would do that. They would be like, fuck this car. I should have gotten a different car. I wish things, they like wishing things were different. basically not accepting the present reality as it stands, looking for people to blame, like blaming the people who sold it to her, blaming her mother who went to go buy it with her, blaming whatever circumstances where she doesn't have enough money to get another one. Like, but really, all of that would just be resisting the fact that this is your car. This is your car now. There it is. This is your car. Hello. Hi. I'm your car. Nice to meet you. This is her car. And so she didn't do that. She received it. She had a relationship to it. And that relationship, especially with her bringing intentionality that an inanimate object doesn't actually bring. Or you could say, I mean, I don't know. I don't like inanimate because I'm kind of like thinking of, is it like Japanese culture, Shinto, that has like everything has a spirit? I'm kind of into that. Anyway, so whatever you believe about the car, it's still like, let's say the car has its own spirit that it's bringing to the table. Fine. But even still, you as a human with your consciousness and intention and presence and awareness, you are really shaping that. Like you're bringing a lot to the table if you're doing that, if you're actually coming to sit at the table and have that relationship. And so her doing that, like basically saying yes to the world, yes to everything that was outside of her control, because it already happened. Yes, okay, yes, I got scammed. Yes, it was the wrong VIN number. Yes, I gave these people much more money than than they technically, should have gotten based on marketplace value. Like, yes. And yes, this is my car. And I'm going to take good care of her. That that is what needs to happen with everything in your life, especially when you have a business, because the ebbs and flows are inevitable. Like they are inevitable. And your relationship to them is literally everything. Because you can kind of think of the ebbs and flows of the seasons, the ebbs and flows of the tides, like the ocean tides, the lunar cycle, right? The ebbs and flows of entrepreneurship, of money, of even like the stock market, right? The ebbs and flows of all of these things, a lot of that's outside of you, right? That is something that somebody else is bringing to the table. And it's a whole web. Like it's a whole bunch of things. There's you and your relationship to the moon, you and your relationship to the present moment, you and your relationship to the ocean, you and your relationship to this client, you and your relationship to this launch, you and your relationship to money, you and your relationship to sales, you and your relationship to your voice. There's a million third things, like so many happening, especially over the course of your entrepreneurial journey. But the ebbs and the flows, if you want to think of them as like one thing, kind of like bring them together and think of like the concept of ebbs and flows as one thing that you have a relationship to. If you have a resistant relationship to that, if you're saying no to that, you're like, oh, I only want the flow, no ebb. All highs, no lows, thanks. Like you're then what you're doing is you're saying no to the ebbs and the flows. You're saying no to the tides. You're saying no to contraction. But when you say no to that, you're saying no to the whole entire ebb and flow process that is like outside of you. Expansion, contraction. It's not one without the other. So you're just saying no to it. People do this all the time. They say no to their reality. They're like, well, I only want the good things and none of the bad. Like tale as old as time. But what you're doing is you're saying, if like I said, like let's bring it into one thing. You're saying no to the ebbs and the flows. Yeah. Well, what's the example people always use? Like two sides of the same coin, right? It doesn't matter if I'm holding this coin up to the screen. Now I kind of want to have a coin. For those of you watching, I don't have a coin handy. Not that you need a visual aid here. Why am I like doing this right now? I still want a coin. I'm like not gonna lie. Okay, I found one. Okay, okay. I know that like most of you listen on audio, so this is really silly, but okay, I'm holding up a coin to the screen and it's heads. And now let's say you're like, okay, yeah. But then I turn the coin around and it's tails. And you say, no, 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 no. I don't want that. I don't want tails. I don't want the tails. Okay, then you don't get the coin. You don't get the, it doesn't matter which one is facing you right now. This is the coin. So you can't just say no to this and still have this. You can't say no and still have the coin. Then it's my coin. You don't get to have the coin when you say no to one of the sides. Okay? And so what most people are doing is that they're saying no to one side of the coin and therefore saying no to the coin. And then your relationship to the coin, aka reality, aka just the nature of ebbs and flows, the literal nature of reality, of yin and yang, of like expansion and contraction, and just like the fucking universe. If you're saying no to that, then you're not really engaged in the process of creating the third thing, right? So if, let's say, all of reality outside of my control is this coin, is represented by this coin. It's like it's just kind of a silly example, but that's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say that like the literal like movement of seasons and years and like the earth moving through the cosmos and tides changing and ebbs and flows of business and positive emotions and negative emotions and expansions and contractions are all represented by this coin. This is reality. It's here no matter what. I actually can't really say no to the coin, but I can pretend, but I can consciously say no to the coin. I can reject it, or what I'm thinking of doing is just rejecting some of it, just reject one side of it, just reject the tails that I am seeing. And then every time it turns to heads, I'm like, okay. And then every time it turns to tails, I'm like, no. And I'm rejecting this coin every single time it says tails, and therefore just rejecting the coin the vast majority of the time. But really, I'm just rejecting the coin. Then I'm not actually present for my relationship to it. Meaning, I cannot wield this coin and go and do things with it. Turn it into something. Create, express, expand, do things with the coin. I cannot do things with the coin because I keep not holding it. I don't actually have a relationship to it because I keep saying, no, 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 take this back, take this back. And it's like, well, it's fucking here anyway, but like who am I trying to give it back to? It's an ever-present coin that I'm like pushing away most of the time and then celebrating and getting a high off of it other times, but I'm suffering. And worse, I can't do anything with it because I can't actually take the coin and because I'm not saying yes to it, I can't actually receive the coin and go and make something out of it. And it's kind of funny that I'm using a penny because you're like, what are you gonna do with a penny? But like, actually, you could do a lot with this penny. If you want to talk in the material world, right? I could probably trade this penny for something. I could probably make a game out of it and say everybody like let's I could say, oh, this penny represents something and I'm raising money for something and let's come together and do a fundraiser and then I get a sponsorship around that. I could make a video of this penny. I could do what I'm doing right now with this fucking penny. The possibilities are endless. But the point is if I can receive it and I can take it and I can say this is my penny, I can go and do things with it. I can go do things with this in the world. right? I could spin it, see if I hit the Guinness World Record for longest coin spin. Okay, enough of the penny. There's enough penny. But this is what it is we resist. This is like the core of energetics. And why do we resist? Why do we resist one side of the coin? Why do we resist our reality? Safety, belonging, and worthiness. This is what it comes back to. We're afraid. We're afraid that we won't be safe, that we won't be okay, that we suck, that we're a piece of shit, that we don't belong, we don't have love. And a lot of that is also coded in safety, like just being in an animal body that is experiencing a separate reality, that is wired to belong, wired to be social. That's a type of animal that we are. That's a human experience. We're highly social animals. So we're wired to need each other to survive. All right. So it really comes back to that. But when you're on a spiritual journey, you're on a journey of awareness, you want to create things in your reality. So this is a very human thing beyond other animals. I don't know, maybe there's things we don't know about dolphins and octopuses. You know, I'm not gonna say nobody else is doing it. I'm really not sure. But to my knowledge, we're the only ones doing this consciously, is we can actually focus and create and say, here's what I'm gonna build. Here's what I'm gonna do. But the problem is, most people are trying to exert their will while they say no to the coin, while they say no to reality. And this cripples you. It makes it so much harder because it's like you're fighting the one thing that like could be everything, that literally is everything. You can't actually wield the relationship of like, now I have this coin, therefore I have a relationship to this coin, and I get to choose how I use it. So now I'm creating a third thing. I'm creating an experience with this, especially creating one that has value and adds value to the world. But if you're so busy rejecting it, it's gonna turn into hustle. It's gonna turn into suffering. It doesn't mean you can't accomplish things. You can accomplish a lot. 98% of people are living like this. You can get rich, you can do all kinds of things, but it will be a struggle, right? Still, you will end up saying yes to the coin sometimes and using it. But what if you said yes to it all the time and you always have it? You always have this relationship to it. Always have this relationship to what you can do with it. Value you can build from it. People you can help. All kinds of things that you can do with reality when you say yes to it. When you say yes to reality. This is energetics. And it spills over into every single part of your business. One of the most common examples I like to focus on with business is I see this pattern of people who are exhausted by launching something. They're kind of like, ah, this sucks. It's so hard. Oh, so much work. Oh, it's so stressful. Okay, they're creating that. The launch. There's a lot of third things at play. There's you, the launch, and the third thing. There's you, the product, and the third thing. There's you, your audience, and the third thing. There's you, the problem you solve, and the third thing. And you are creating so much, especially with something that you literally created. You are creating the launch, right? You are the one driving the boat here. And so the fact that it's stressful or that it's something you don't like is you. That's you. You're doing that. And a lot of this, I think this happens a lot with so many different aspects of business. But really, it comes back to you're having a relationship to that thing that you think you're supposed to have. Like me with the car. Well, I need to get the best deal. Why do I need to get the best deal? Oh, because maybe then I'll end up having to spend too much money on repairs or I'll just spend too much money on the car in the first place and then my income will dip and then it won't be okay. Or I'll just feel bad about myself and I'll feel like a shitty person, like I messed up and like nobody likes me and I suck. This is what's happening with launching, or really any aspect of your business, but let's say launching. What's happened? Like, why? So let's say there's certain things you're doing in the launch that you don't like and they're stressing you out. But you're like, well, I have to do that because that's how it's going to sell. Otherwise, people won't buy it. I have to make people buy it. Well, what if they don't see it? Then I won't make enough money. If this launch doesn't do well, what if I don't have enough? Or maybe you do have enough money, so it's more like, well, if this launch doesn't do well, what are people going to think of me? They're going to think I've lost my edge, that I'm on my way down, that I suck now. Maybe I do suck now. Maybe I'm going to think that about myself. Maybe I'm just going to want to quit my business if this launch doesn't do well. What does this mean about me? What if I sell a group thing and only one person buys? Oh my God, it's going to be so embarrassing. What if I'm teaching people? Oh, this is a really sticky one. What if I'm teaching people about launching or teaching people about some aspect of business that has to do with launching? Like I'm teaching sales or I'm teaching marketing or I'm teaching viral content creation or I'm teaching or I'm selling a product, like I'm selling a computer software that is supposed to like help your funnels run smoother or like help your ads run more effectively. This is when it gets really sticky because then the thing that you're launching should theoretically help other people do a similar thing to what you're doing and you're not doing it well, and you only got one person. Oh my God, I was gonna cap it at 50 and only one person signed up. They're all gonna hate me. They're all gonna hate me. They're gonna, that one person is gonna think, oh my God, what did I do? Why am I here? This person sucks. This is why the launch is stressful. Or maybe you're in a company and you're launching a major product, and if you don't hit your numbers, you're gonna get fired. Or if you don't hit your numbers, the company's gonna go under. Oh my God, we weren't able to take on that investor. If this product launch doesn't go well, we're fucked. The company's gonna go under. That. That is why, that is why it sucks. That is why it's exhausting. It's not the actual launch. Because if you just break down energetically, like what exactly is a launch? Like what exactly is happening in a launch? You are telling people about a product or service and then selling it to them. You are making it known. You are making it known that you exist and that you have something to offer. It has become known. It's out there, and then you are selling it to people. That's it. That's it. That's what you're doing. You created something, and now you are making it known that it exists, and then you are selling it to people. That is a launch. Okay, so I remember thinking really early on, it was baffling to me how there was all these stories around launching. Like, oh my God, book in a massage for yourself. It's gonna be so stressful. It's gonna be a whole thing. Oh, I gotta be on social media every day. I gotta post. I gotta like put on makeup every morning. I gotta do all these things and it sucks and it's stressful and oh my God. I was like, wait a second. Aren't you just making it known that you have a thing and then selling it to people? Yes. Okay. As a business, do you not do that like, I don't know, every day in some way or another? Yes. Hell, sometimes you might just be in a coffee shop randomly chatting with somebody and then be like, oh yeah, I actually have this thing. Like this, they'll say, oh, what do you do? So, oh well, I launched this. I have a toothpaste company. It's like, it's this really like all natural toothpaste and blah blah blah. So in a way, you just launched. Like if you really want to like strip it down, I know that's like kind of minimizing it, but like really like take away all the layers. Like what is actually happening? It's literally just exactly what you do every day, but now you're turning the volume up. You could say that that's what a launch is. It turns the volume up. It amplifies. Okay. So what does it mean for me to turn the volume up on what I'm already doing? Like what does it mean for me to announce something new? That's also another aspect of it. Sometimes you're launching and maybe it's in something new. Okay. So I know no matter what, I'm gonna tell people about this. No matter what, I'm gonna sell it to people. So the launch is inevitable. There is no reality where I don't make this product known unless you don't make the product known, and therefore it's probably even more stressful than launching because now you're avoiding it for all of the same reasons that the launch would have been stressful. And so you're going to have all of those same stresses even without the launch. This is when people get into analysis paralysis and they don't put something out there and they're super stressed and they feel like they're working a lot, but they haven't actually done anything. Well, planning the launch. Oh yeah, I'm getting it figured out. And they're really stressed out doing that. It all comes back to those wounds. It all comes back to what you're afraid of, what you don't want happening, what you're resisting. It all comes back to the side of the coin that you are saying no to. Therefore, you can't actually receive it, use it, wield it, create a third thing with intention. So, what does that look like with the launch? What does that mean? Okay, well, it means that you're taking the whole damn coin. You're saying yes to it. So, one person signs up, okay, yes. Some people talk about you behind your back. They think you're embarrassing and stupid and like, you suck. You suck. Okay, yes. You don't hit your numbers. Okay, yeah. You're saying yes to that. And you're going to tap into something larger, which is what do you want to do with this coin? So rather than your purpose being centered around the fact that you're saying no to one side of the coin, this is what most people do. They don't actually wield the coin and use it. They're like, what can I do to avoid this side of the coin? You can't. The coin is there no matter what. It's there. It's there. Still continues to be there. Still gonna be there. Both sides of the coin are there. And you're spending all your energy, you're burning yourself out. You are getting stressed the brook out because you're trying to avoid one side of the fucking coin instead of taking the coin and doing something with it. So then your launch does have the wrong energy because it's all about avoiding something. It's all about not like you want to avoid not having enough money. You want to avoid not having enough people inside. And that takes all of your energy. It takes so much effort because you're not actually able to take the coin and use it. You're just fighting with it the whole time, fighting for a result so that you can avoid one of the sides. And you're getting exhausted. It's exhausting. Of course, it's exhausting. Okay, but let's say we zoom out here. We're saying yes to both sides of the coin. Why are you actually doing this? What do you want to do with that coin? That includes the head side. What's your actual intention? What do you want to do with this coin? And some people don't know the answer to that because they built their whole business around wounding. Because the whole reason for having the business was to prove that they're worthy. The whole reason for wanting to make money is to prove that they're worthy and or to make themselves feel safe. that fundamentally on some level they're not sure that they're okay. And they built the whole business in order to remedy that. It's never going to work, unfortunately. It's not going to give that to you. You can try to outrun it and you can make a whole lot of money in the process. A lot of very successful people are driven by wounding. So it's not that you can't succeed by metrics, but it's going to exhaust the fuck out of you because you're over here fighting with the coin. So you got to get with your North Star, which is what do you want to do with this coin of reality? What are you here to do with it? What is your why? What is that? Right? That's what you want to tap into. Like, what is it you want to do? You like solving this certain problem and it's because it's so much fun? Then that's what it's about. It lights you up to help people. Okay. What is this launch actually about for you besides avoiding one half of the coin? What are you here to build? What interests you? What are you passionate about? What's fun for you? Like what's gonna light you up, right? For me, it's these women, it's especially like weirdo outcast women who are like, "Oh my God, I fucking like made my dream happen." And I also, beyond helping the women, because some of this can be selfish too, beyond just like, oh, it's really satisfying to see them do well, I get a lot of satisfaction, just like innately, out of bringing big, crazy, like in the ethers ideas into like very practical, tangible, actionable reality. Like for me, that's a puzzle that I enjoy solving. It's more fun for me than a physical puzzle. This is like how I'm wired. I like it. I like it. I like when somebody presents me with a puzzle where they're like, oh, I have this big, like ethereal, crazy, like da 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 thing in the sky, and I want to like turn it into something that works. Hello, here I am. I can do that for you. I can turn that into something that you can digest, something that you can create with, something that's tangible, something that gives you money. I know how to do that. And I like it. It's fun. I like it when it's hard. I enjoy it. Selfishly, even so, I enjoy it and it helps other people. Guess what? We're all designed to enjoy things that ultimately help other people in some way. It really works that way. It's very cool. Okay? That's what I want to do with my coin. That's what I want to do with reality. And here's what you'll realize. Nobody can take that away from you. So there is no way I can lose. When I take the coin and I actually have it and I actually use it, there isn't a losing scenario for me because I am doing what I want to do. I'm using my coin the way I want to use it. So it doesn't matter if one person signs up instead of 10 or 50 or whatever I wanted. One person signs up, I still get to do that. I still get to solve that problem. I still get to do a puzzle. I still get to have fun. I still get to have the satisfaction. Not only that, even if nobody signs up, I get to do it right now in my content. I get to do it, like, for example, as I record this podcast, I get to do that. I get to take, because for me, it's this big ethereal ideas, making them really tangible and practical and actionable in a way that you understand and can make money off of. I'm doing that right now, right? It's a win-win. You can't lose. You have said yes to the coin. So now you get to use it the way you want. You get to create the third thing, and you know what it's actually about for you. You know what you're actually here to do with that. So it doesn't matter, even if you fuck up the launch, you could say, like, even if the money doesn't go the way you want it to go, you know what you're here to do with the coin, and you are locked in on doing that. You're not locked in on avoiding financial losses or avoiding um, low signups or freaking out about what so and so thinks about your business, avoiding debt. You're not focused on any of that. You are locked in on what you're here to do with this motherfucking coin. So let's say you really, really enjoy, I'm trying to think of an example. Like you really enjoy energy healing. Let's just say that because of my friend and her story of energy healing. She's a great energy healer, by the way. I go see her like all the time, like weekly. Anyway, so let's say you love energy healing and you especially just love when it like, really helps somebody de-stress, their inflammation goes way down, they become so much healthier, they have so much more energy and vitality. They sleep better through the night. Like you just love it. You just love it. You just melt. It's just so much fun for you. Oh my God, it feels good to do it. Like you're just like, oh, bliss. You love this. Nobody can take that away from you. So you're going to launch a group energy healing experience and you want 10 people inside. And you feel it. You're like, you know what? That's going to be great. 10 people. Oh my God. They're going to be amazing people. Every single one of them is going to be sleeping by the end of this. Their inflammation is going to go way down. They're probably going to lose a little bit of weight just because so much stress is being released from their bodies. They're gonna have more energy than they've ever had. Like they're gonna feel so good. And they're gonna create these like connections with each other that nourish them and support them for the rest of their lives. Like, I have to do this group. Like, this is what I'm here to do. That's what you're here to do with the coin. Now, all the other stuff associated with the launch doesn't need to stress you out because that's happening no matter what. Even if there's not 10 women this round, even if you don't win, even if you don't get exactly what you set out to get right now, nobody can take away what you're actually trying to do with this coin. Because even if nobody signs up, even if nobody buys it, the whole time you were launching it, you were giving energy healing. You were doing energy healing on yourself. You were doing it inside of your content. You were setting the intention of connecting with the women who were meant to be in this group and sending energy healing through time and space to them. You did it. You're doing it. You're literally in your product or service. You're in what it is as you're launching it, right? Like, let's say you have a product, and so you give free samples, and people get to try it, they get to experience it. Or yeah, let's say you're in a launch and or you're like, okay, well, I want these 10 women in this like 6 month thing, but I want to give people a taste. I want them to experience this. Nobody can take that away from you. So you do it for free. It's a 3 day thing and it's free, and as many people as they want can join. And I want you guys to experience what this is going to be like. It's free and still nobody signed up. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to invite my friends. I'm going to put up flyers in my neighborhood and go to the park and do it there. I'm gonna just do it through the camera in my content and I'm just gonna do it. Nobody can take away what you're actually trying to do with this coin of reality. And what's amazing about this is that when you are energetically doing it from that standpoint, it fucking works. You sell a lot. People want to be, it's very magnetic. It's very magnetic. People want to be in it. They want to be in what you're doing because it's so magnetic. It feels so good because you're not trying to get anything from them. You're not asking your customer to solve your fucking problems. You're not asking them, please don't let me be embarrassed. If only one person doesn't come in, or please give me your money so my business doesn't go under. There's none of that because you're already winning. You already won. You already won because you are literally doing what you're here to do with this coin. You cannot be stopped from that. It is happening. You are doing it because you have accepted the entire coin and now you get to use it. Now you get to spin it around and do stuff with it. Use it in your reality, get creative with it. You cannot lose. And so it actually doesn't matter exactly how many signups happen or exactly what, because the thing is, you're not going to stop. This is what you're here to do. This is what you're here to do with your coin of reality. So you're going to go do it again and again and again and again and again and again and again. And guess what? It's not even going to exhaust you because you already won that place that you're trying to arrive at. Because this is how so many people operate. They think, well, once I get just the heads side of the coin, this is what so many people do. They say, once I figure out how to only have the head side of the coin, or actually more commonly, how to have enough of the head side of the coin. If I just had enough of the head side of the coin, I need to flip it another 50 times and make sure heads comes up like 85% of the time. And then I can live how I want to live. Then I can relax. Then I can be who I want to be. But I need heads enough times first. Then I can do it. Then I can do it. But you continue rejecting the fucking coin. It's not going to work. There is no arrival. You you've got to be there now. It's got to be like right here, right now. I'm taking both sides of the coin. I'm taking the ebbs and flows. I'm saying yes to my reality, right? You don't arrive in the future. You don't get anything in the future. It's all right now. It's all right now. So you say yes and you take the coin and you do what you're here to do with the coin. And sometimes it will be heads and sometimes it will be tails. And then it'll be heads again and heads again and heads and tails, and then it'll be heads again and tails, and then heads. And you keep playing with that coin and doing what you're here to do with it. And it has been proven again and again and again by so many people that when you do this, when you have an actual North Star that isn't just avoiding one side of the coin, if you have an actual North Star and you know what you're here to do with this and you start doing it, regardless of how it looks, regardless of what it seems like to other people, regardless of how scary it is sometimes, and you just do it, you will be successful. That is what is so cool about this game of reality that we're in. It is rigged for your success because when you do it that way, when you actually take the coin and accept it and you show up and you do that and you add that much value, there is no stopping you. It's literally impossible. You will succeed. You will. But you have to actually do it. You have to actually say yes to the coin. That's the hard part. You have to actually say yes and then do it. And then show up when it's scary or and all those like feelings and all those things. Like it's present moment reality. You have to show up and have that awareness and that intention and that ability to be there with enough of a yes to reality so that you can create the third thing that you desire. You got to trust yourself enough to do that too. There's all kinds of like reasons. There's a there's a reason that 98% of people don't live like this, okay? But what's cool about it is that it fucking works. It really works. And when that really sinks in, when you really realize that and it clicks for you, oh my God. You know how people say the world is your oyster. It truly is. It truly is. There is so much good you can do in this world. There is so much you're capable of creating. You have no idea. It is beyond what you could even want from this coin. And it is way beyond what you could ever want from just wanting one side of this coin. It is so much better than that. It is so beyond what you could even come up with. It's it's inevitable if you know what you're here to do with it and you say yes and you receive it and you take it and you play with it and you go create. So if you're launching something, this is how I would suggest that energetically you approach your next launch. Okay, this episode is long enough. I really went off on one today. That was so much fun. Oh, see, I love it. And like, y'all, talk about just being in action. I don't know if you guys know this. I'm recording this podcast It's like 8:45 at night, and I'm gonna put this up tomorrow morning. But like, I've been putting out a podcast every single week, and for me, it's like, okay, maybe I could have a better schedule. I understand that, but like sometimes I do it the night before because I'm awake and I'm feeling it and I'm channeling. And for me, it's like it doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be what is meant to come through. So thank you all so much for listening. This was a blast. I love you all so much. Revenue Recode 21-day challenge happening really soon. I don't know. Actually, I do know the dates. I chose them today. Oh my God. Yes. We're going to start June 8th. June 8th is when we're going to start. 21-day challenge. Energetics. We're gonna do actual physical things in the body, in your reality, to like start loosening up whatever is like habitually there to create something new, to create new pathways, especially as it relates to receiving money for what you're here to do for your products or services. So, this is what we're doing. It's free. It's fucking amazing. It's gonna be magic. Oh my God, it's gonna be so good. Okay, join Revenue Recode. I'm gonna get the link ready and drop it below so you guys have it tomorrow morning when this podcast episode comes out. And yeah, I'll see you. I'll see you on June 8th because I don't understand why anybody wouldn't join this. I mean, unless you're not ready for more money. I'm so excited. All right, have a good night, y'all. Bye.